we have our next guest who has joined us. And I'd like to introduce you all to Charmaine Taylor. She is an event manager and event coordinator, WBE par excellence. She's done a number of events working with Shell and with a number of our peer organizations in the energy industry. And ask her actually to introduce herself a little bit more. And then we're going to talk a bit more. We're going to delve a little deeper into the idea of joining forces by talking specifically about strategic partnerships. So Charmaine, if you could start with an introduction, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company.
Certainly. Well, thank you again to Shell for the opportunity to be a part of this vibrant environment here at the WeBank National Conference in Austin. My name is Charmaine Taylor. My company is called On-Site Partners, Inc., and it is a full-service meeting and event planning firm. I have been fortunate to be a supplier to Shell since 2002, in working with them on a number of projects. And one of the ones I'm most excited about that leads me into talking about strategic alliances. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with many Fortune 500 companies to provide them with support for their meetings and events. But this is one of the ideas that we came up with together in terms of matchmaking events that I'm serving Shell and other oil and gas companies with that I truly enjoy. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, Charmaine. So tell us a little bit more about your strategic partnership and how you came to start it, and your other partner, and what is the benefit? How has it been impacting your business and your partner's business?
So first of all, my strategic partner is Possible Missions, and it's owned and operated by a fellow WBE and MBE, Paula Mendoza, who's also based in Houston, Texas. And we came to know each other through our relationships in the councils. And we both received an RFP in 2009 to help the oil and gas industry with some event that they were planning in order to connect with suppliers, diverse suppliers. I saw her name on the list. I picked up the phone and I said, Paula, you're a project management company. You do matchmaking. I'm an event manager. I do events. Instead of us bidding on the project separately, why don't we come together and bid as a team and see if we can close the business? We had 7 other competitors in the race. We were able to present to the team the opportunity to work together as a strategic alliance. And that was our first matchmaker in 2009 that we did for 2010. Since that time, we've done 12 matchmakers together, specifically for the oil and gas industry, as well as globally. We've done the Global Link Matchmaker for NMSDC, which is 5 different countries that are involved in that one, pairing domestic and international businesses. And just recently did a matchmaker in Pennsylvania, where we, through this, again, relationship with Shell, we made connections in Pennsylvania. We're able to do a matchmaker for 17 companies across industries and do over 300 meetings in one day. So coming together, we were able to accomplish a lot more than we're doing individually. The other thing that I'll say is for our individual businesses, when Paula first started her business, she, I think, started with $100 in the bank. It's now a $10 million business and a project management firm with over 280 employees. I continue to be a meeting consultant. This is a project that I do within that realm. So most of my business is actually with associations. But I've done the WeBank conference in 2002. I've done 10 WBEA, which is our local WeBank affiliate events, as well as I've done, this will be my 17th NMSDC conference. So you could say that these relationships really do make a difference.
Thank you so much. So can you just define for us what is a strategic partnership and kind of how does it work, or how has it worked in your case?
So I think the word strategic is critical. What it says to you is that you need to look at the person that you decide to join forces with to see what each of you brings to the table, and if by combining those resources there is a strategic or positive advantage for the customer. So many times we approach a customer and we try to sell them something. We try to sell them on us and the quality of what we offer, not taking the time to really understand the solution that they're looking for. So I think what a strategic alliance does is it brings partners together, whether it be one or two, like in the case with me and Paula Mendoza and Possible Missions, or multiple partners, and make a determination how, by combining forces, we can create a strategy that solves a customer's problem.
Thank you. Thank you. So, when should a business consider engaging into a strategic partnership?
I think there are a couple of very key areas. One, of course, is that they want to grow. I started off my business as an individual person, being a consultant in an industry where I had previously worked. That's so very common. You have a lot of talented people out here, particularly women, since we're at a women's conference, who have done their work in corporate America. I had that situation where I wanted to raise my children, but I also wanted to still contribute. But there was only so much I was going to be able to grow on my own. So I was fortunate through the Women's Business Council to meet other women business owners that I could actually collaborate with so that we could take on bigger projects with a broader scope of work. So I think growth is one of the important reasons. But I also think expertise is an important reason to look for a strategic alliance. For example, many people understand meetings. Everybody wants to be an event planner, I'm sure, after they've done their own wedding or somebody else's. And but it's a very, very different thing in this real world. However, there are other components that make a meeting successful, like, for example, audiovisual services. So sometimes a strategic partnership with a production company where they have the expertise in audiovisual services, it increases the impact of the meeting if we have a good partner. So those, I would say, would be to deliver greater expertise and also to position yourself for growth.
Thank you so much. So if there was one piece of advice you were giving someone who is considering a strategic partnership, what's the first and biggest piece of advice you would give them?
I think the most important thing that we need to know about is risk management. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we think about risk management, we think about insurance. We don't think about succession plans. We don't think about what happens when we can't do the work ourselves. I make it a point never to take on a project that I don't at least understand 70% of the work. And in case something happens with my strategic partner, I either don't have an alternative source that I can bring in, or I can deliver the content or the work for 70% of it. Because I think that that's a fair risk, risking 30% rather than risking 50% or more, where if for some reason something happens to that other person, that company, or business demands change, you're not able to deliver. It's always critical. Your name, your integrity is on the line. I also think from a risk management standpoint, you need to look at the financial implications of a piece of business. In terms of working with major corporations, there's also, a lot of times you have to provide terms and conditions and billing and other things like that. So that if you are just growing and starting out, or you're smaller, if you partner with a stronger, financially stronger partner, and that person can provide the terms and conditions, that allows you to take on bigger projects and lower your risk. As long as you are delivering value to the partnership and holding up your end of the bargain, I think if you can just manage risks, that's the best approach.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's a good insight, really good insight. So let's turn for a minute now to maybe sharing a little bit with the listeners on what are some of the main events in terms of matchmakers that you have coming up over the rest of this year.
So we are extremely excited about the next one that's coming up August 12th and 13th in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. This was an event that started 4 years ago as a regional local event. And that first year we had over 300 regional suppliers that attended, and we were able to do about 400 matchmaking meetings for those regional suppliers to actually just get an introduction to some companies in the oil and gas industry. And then that first year, of course, Shell was there. And now in our fourth year, Shell is there, providing us, these suppliers, with training. We've grown this event in terms of the caliber of suppliers to be that the majority of the suppliers that attend are 10 million and above in sales and are perfectly positioned to do business directly with oil and gas companies of your size and of your magnitude. We have Consol Energy that's also joining us there, EQT Corporation. We have XTO, which is a subsidiary of ExxonMobil, Noble Energy back with us again this year, as well as TransCanada, who will be joining us for the first time this year. And at that event, if you are a supplier with a good or service that you can provide to the oil and gas industry, you can apply online at Possible Missions. And if you qualify to attend, we will set up matchmaking meetings for you over that time frame. Shell is also offering training in HSSE, So that has to deal with sustainability and safety, so that some of these larger suppliers can get the training that they need the day before and a half day special training. And API is also going to join us for a special presentation. So we're very excited about that one. Also be doing some work with NMSDC and other supplier diversity organizations on upcoming matchmakers over the next 6 months, including returning to Pennsylvania for the one that we did across industries last year, probably in the spring of 2016.
Thank you so much. So thank you, Charmaine. Really appreciate your meeting with us. And if Paula's around here today, send her over to say hello as well. So appreciate your insights and looking forward to working with you as we go forward in this space.
Thank you so much, and I can't echo enough how those of us who are diverse suppliers know that Shell's commitment to us is serious, that they not only look at ways that they can utilize us in business. I'm so excited to see other small businesses here that are new and owned by millennials as well that are being involved in this process. It just underscores your true commitment, and it's really our privilege to serve you. Paula's back in Houston holding down the fort.
Is she?
Keeping the matchmaking going, but we look forward to seeing you in Pennsylvania and wish everyone success at the conference. Thank you so much.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Charmaine.